Christianity in America today is linked to authoritarianism, racism, patriarchy, idolatry, and isolationism, to name a few. So how did a religion based on peace, love, compassion, and sacrifice get tangled up with Trumpian MAGA politics, which is antithetical to the teachings of Christ? Well, you're going to find that out today on Loud and Clear. Hi, I'm David Thompson. Now, what you're going to hear today is based on my research and my experience as a MAGA Republican and an evangelical. I still am deeply involved with many evangelicals. I know them very well. I know a lot of MAGA Republicans, so I can talk from experience and be pretty accurate as to what they believe. But today we're going to go down a list of things, so bear with me. It's a little different format than you're used to, and I'm glad you're joining me today. So first of all, let's talk about Donald Trump's latest post. Right. The Barack Obama, Michelle Obama post. Thursday evening, February 5th, Donald Trump posted a picture. I believe it was a picture. If it was a video, let me know in the comment section. I did not see it as a video. I just saw the picture and was appalled and didn't look at it anymore. But he posted that on his basically personal social media platform, Truth Social. Now, he did it. Many people don't believe he did it. I'm saying that's what many people I know believe. It was AI. He didn't have anything to do with it. But it was posted and finally took down after it's basically deservingly got a lot of flack. Now, let me tell you, that offended me very deeply, and it was not directed at me. I can't imagine what the Obamas felt like. I mean, how do you not have respect for a president of the United States, a retired one? Whether you liked him 100% or not, respect is important. I didn't agree with everything Barack Obama did, but I liked him as president. I think he did some great things. He was a great speaker, and I liked him, and I liked his wife, and I'm proud to say they were my president, that they were the president of the United States. Many people still feel differently, and as you know, why? It's called racism, as I mentioned in the intro here. Trump went on to insist that he was the least racist president you've had in a long time. Trump said, "I didn't make a mistake." Caroline Leavitt, who I believe should be charged with treason, his press secretary, she's along the lines of Goebbels from the Nazi regime in Germany back in the 40s, 30s. She said, "Stop your fake outrage." See, she didn't address it because, see, she claims to be a Christian, and here we go. She claims to be a Christian. She wears every type of cross known to man. And yet, knowing that this is a racist comment, she couldn't say, "Listen, I can't defend you, Mr. President. I won't say anything. If I can't say anything right, I won't say anything." But defending it, which is what she did. Quit your fake outrage. Believe me, a lot of people didn't have fake outrage. I didn't. And I'm sure a lot of people were offended. Okay, so now, I haven't heard one person that I know that's right-wing conservative Christian that has come out and condemned that picture. Not one. Nothing on Facebook. Nothing from our pastor. And again, I'm not saying our pastor should be political, but this isn't political. This is racism at the highest level. If our pastors in our churches can't condemn racism, what good are you? What are you doing? That's not political. That's about humanity. Again, their teachings, the teachings of many of these Christian right-wing pastors, are antithetical to the teachings of Christ. Now, I think that's all I'm going to say about that post for now. Listen, it was racist. There's no doubt about it. If you don't think it was, maybe you should reconsider your life. Now, I want to go on and say this, that many people, and I know someone very well, an older lady, a Christian, and she told a friend of mine that anything Donald Trump says that is off cuff, that isn't right, that's evil, that's mean, whatever it is, and we know what we're talking about when he says things off the cuff, that isn't him, that's AI. People are using AI to put words in his mouth. He went to NATO and he went to Davos and thousands of cameras and all the leaders of the world, and everything he said that was crazy wasn't really him. Although everybody saw it firsthand in the press room at the White House, same thing. They defend Donald Trump by saying it's AI. You see, again, we can't condemn things that we don't believe are wrong. That's what they're doing. He's not wrong. He's doing the right thing. You'll see. That's what I've been told. Now, let's start by saying this, that many Christians believe Donald Trump is special, that he was prophesied to become president. And if you don't know what prophets are in modern day, you can go on YouTube and find a list of them. Julie Green's one of them. There's a few that I've heard about through people that I know who watch them. And I have watched these people, and I can tell you they've never been right as far as I understand their prophecies. For instance, in the past, before the election, they said Donald Trump will get elected president. Is that a prophecy, or is that just people going out and voting? Okay, is that just something that we do here that gives him a 50-50 chance of winning, right? That's not a prophecy, but they'll tell you that he was God's chosen man, the anointed one. Because, see, they believe this country is a Christian country, always has been. God made this country special for Christians. And that's why they want to take it over. That's why they want to overthrow all the evil liberal Democrats known as Democrats. That's because they want to control every aspect of our society. Can you imagine that? So I say that because this is the baseline of how politics and Christianity locked arms. And that's really bad. Now, listen, I didn't think this was something out of the blue for Donald Trump. I kind of expected something like this. Maybe not exactly like it, but I know who Donald Trump is. And many of you do too. He's a psychopath, sociopath, a narcissist. Go down a list. So we can't expect anything less than that type of behavior that's related to those illnesses. But many Christians don't look at it that way. They look at him as doing God's work here. I was told I was going to hell because I disagreed with Donald Trump. My rebuttal was, this is America. You said that God created America, which meant he let us have the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, which gives me the right to do that, but you're now taking it away because God doesn't allow it because he elected Donald Trump. They believe this because it was God who put Donald Trump in office, not the voters. And God saved his life when that assassin's bullet grazed his ear. Saved by God. Maybe. But when you believe that stuff, when everything's divine, everything's super spiritual, then everything gets muddled, doesn't it? Everything got muddled here. So I'm not surprised that Donald Trump said the things he said. The man has a lot of issues. And he isn't the smartest person in Washington, D.C. But what he's good at is being a con man. He's good at building power. He's good at threatening people and using leverage against people. So these Christians who believe they're the ones who can interpret the Bible, they're the ones that have all the answers because they believe the whole Bible. And they can interpret it and make us understand that God has a plan for America, a plan for this country to be Christian. So it's okay for Trump to do everything he's doing, much of which is evil, because in the end, God's using him to do it that way. So I'm going to go down a list I made to tell you what they believe is okay. And there's more to this list. Don't get me wrong, there is, but I'm going to give you the ones off the top of my head that I kind of got in like 5 minutes here. So apparently Christians think these things are God's will. It's okay for Donald Trump to brutally arrest all brown people, whether they're legal or not. And by the way, this includes Native Americans. They've arrested Native Americans. Some, it took a while to get them back out of detention. And while they're doing that, they're denying people due process, which is a constitutional right. That doesn't mean anything because, see, God overwrites due process. See, apparently what God's doing is overriding the laws of this nation, which they're saying they're upholding. You know, if you come across the border, you're a criminal. Actually, it's a misdemeanor. I can tell you 1,000 people I know probably had misdemeanors, one way or another. Went through a red light, did something stupid. This happens a lot, that's why it's a misdemeanor. But they call them criminals. See, the wordage is important. What you say means something. If you frame your words a certain way, it sounds really bad. They're criminals. Not, they did a misdemeanor. They came across because many of them were poor. Many of them were being hammered in their own country, being persecuted. That's not important because they're criminals. And by the way, I want to mention this too. The reason they're arresting anybody they can is because they all have a quota system. They need to get rid of so many people each week, each day, each month to meet this quota that Donald Trump has set or Kristi Noem has set. You see, they have a target. They have a goal to reach, to get rid of so many people in a certain amount of time to reach their goal. Okay. Now here's a question, and I'm going to go on to the next one. If they're deporting everybody, why do they need hundreds of millions of dollars to build detention centers? You might say, well, they need to hold them somewhere. Well, no, they're deporting them, right? They're deporting them. Criminals. They're deporting them. They're not going to stand trial. They're not going to be waiting like in a jail to stand trial. They don't have any due process. Again, this might be because there's more to this ICE task force military than meets the eye. Maybe it goes beyond brown people. Maybe this purge that Donald Trump's doing goes as far as getting rid of anybody who disagrees with Donald Trump. I have a tendency to lean toward conspiracy theories sometimes, but I usually slap myself and wake up. This one I'm not so sure of, my friends, because I think he really wants to do that. I think he wants to have complete control. And the way to do that is to eliminate your opposition. And we'll talk more about that. It's also okay to create a out-of-control, faceless, fascist army to yank people out of churches, schools, and hospitals while separating children from their parents. That's okay, Christians, right? It's okay to pepper spray, point-blank range in the face, any American citizen who's protesting, who disagrees with what's happening. Spray them. That's okay. It's okay to destroy our relationship with our oldest allies, countries we've had good relationships with since the end of World War II, people who buy our products, people that travel here for vacation. We're friends, we're allies, we're partners. Are we? Well, not anymore. It's okay to attack a foreign nation and kidnap their leader. Yeah, Venezuela. Now, I don't care if you like Maduro or not. That's not the point here. People always, especially these right-wing people, they'll tell you, well, he was a criminal. It's okay to do what you did. One day you might be labeled a criminal, whether you're a criminal or not. And they can come after you in illegal fashion, and it's okay. So they took Maduro, and guess what? They stole his oil. Now, many of you say, well, that's American oil. No, it's not. Yeah, some American companies built some infrastructure there, but that's what happens when you build things in other people's countries. And what happened to that oil? Well, it was sold. And guess where the money went? To Qatar. Now, Venezuela was given a portion of some of that money. I don't know how much, to build infrastructure. Well, you know what they're going to use that for? To put more infrastructure in for the oil so they can steal more. It's not going to the people who rightly own that oil because it's their country. I digress. It's okay to threaten to take over Greenland, and you can put any other country in there if you want, by force. So Greenland technically is an autonomous nation that was founded by some Vikings back in the 10th century BC. Now, their connection to Denmark puts them into NATO, which is an alliance we have with mostly all the European countries. This makes them an ally. So Donald Trump wants to take Greenland. Although he has recently said, no, he won't do that. No one knows what he's really going to do. But the bottom line here is that he made the threat. What Trump really wanted there was their resources. And they're a resource-rich island. Okay, so it's okay to do that because, you see, it's about national security, protecting the right-wing Christians' little world here in the United States. It's also okay to have started a trade war that has driven up prices for the middle class and the poor. It's also okay for Trump to unleash his Justice Department on his enemies, something he promised to do during the election run-up. It's also okay that 4 million people lost their access to SNAP payments, which are food stamps, and 10 million people lost access to health care. This was because Trump and the Republicans passed the big, beautiful bill. Remember that? Which gave massive tax credits to the richest Americans in the country. Poor people got screwed. And apparently it's also okay to depict a former U.S. president and his wife as monkeys. That's okay too. This is okay, all in the name of Jesus. Now, I know not all Christians are like this, but remember, over 81% of white evangelicals voted for Donald Trump, which means they rubber stamped him. Now, if they didn't know what he was going to do, shame on them. They're still held accountable because they should have found out. I knew who he was. Why? I researched him, and there's a lot. And no, it wasn't AI. No, it wasn't people who didn't like him. It was the truth. What is it? 34 felony counts, rape charges. Go down a long list of problems this guy has had over the years. He hasn't changed. He's not going to change. Remember, narcissist, sociopath, psychopath. And by the way, I talked about sociopathy and Trump's tendencies towards it on a video on my channel, Clear Signal. Again, I'm going to have a link in the description box to that channel, and I'll put that link in the description box as well. And by the way, if you enjoy our content that we provide here on Loud and Clear, and you want more of it, and you want us to be able to spread this news farther, please consider subscribing to our channel. Hit the like button, that's a big deal, and share it with friends of yours. This is important. A lot of people haven't heard the truth, and we're here to provide it to them. Thank you. And by the way, I want to hear from you. Put your comment in the comment section. I know there's been a lot of comments that I haven't been able to reply to. I am sorry. Thank you for responding. Continue flooding us with comments. I love seeing that everyone's interacting. I'm trying to get to those. Again, it's usually just me doing a lot of this research on these videos. It takes time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining our family here. In the meantime, love your neighbor as yourself, and I'll see you next time right here on Loud and Clear.